At this time, I'd like to introduce our officials for tonight's contest. Fans, if you feel the need to verbally express your displeasure.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Air Carmel High School for the IHSAA sectional championship game between the Carmel Greyhounds and the Hadley alongside Matthew Placzek here at Carmel High School. Today's officials will be Tim Cartwright, Terry Baker, and Bryce Barton. And Matt, we have an exceptional matchup here tonight. Playoff basketball, Indiana is back, 1 year removed from the COVID shutdown, and I am extremely excited for this one here tonight.
Absolutely, Griffin, I wouldn't. Carmel thrashed the Shamrocks 54-30. What are you looking for in the Shamrocks tonight to be able to bounce back and defeat this red-hot Greyhounds team?
You know, I think they need to lean on their leading scorers here tonight. Braden Smith dropped a 41-piece yesterday to defeat the Noblesville Millers in the semifinals of this sectional. So I would not be surprised if they lean on Braden Smith here tonight, but Westfield is extremely undersized compared to Carmel, so we will want to see Westfield attack those boards here early. As we get set here tonight, the Carmel starting lineup, we'll see Connor Joya, the senior, at the 1, Pete Suter, junior, at the 2, Josh Wack at the 3, junior for Carmel, Brian Waddell will be at the 4, and the big man, Charlie Williams, standing at 6'10", will be at the 5.
And you have to imagine, Griffin, that has to be on Coach Osborne's radar. They're going to want to hit the boards early. They're going to want to get those rebounds, get the ball out to Joya and Suter, have them hit some quick shots, and rack up an early lead against the Shamrocks.
And now the starting lineup for the Westfield Shamrocks. Braden Smith, the junior guard, will be starting at point guard. Benji Welch, number 3, senior shooting guard. Matthew Penley will be starting number 20. Cam Hoffner scored 17 last night, and Nick DePasquale will round out the starting 5 for Westfield. And immediately you notice, tallest guy in the court for Westfield is Cam Hoffner at 6'2". Carmel, 3 guys over 6'5". And we are underway. Charlie Williams wins the tip, knocks it back to his point guard, Connor Joya. And Matt, off the bat, expect an aggressive start from the Hounds. Ryan Osborne, head coach for the Greyhounds, talked about a passive start last night against HSC. They want to get their foot on the gas here early and attack that offensive side of the basketball.
Absolutely, and you can already see the mismatch on Charlie Williams. You have Nick DePasquale, only 6'1", trying to guard the 6'10" center, and it's going to be tough for him to be able to contain Charlie. As you can already see here, Charlie winning a great rebound and getting it off to Wack.
Connor Joya leaves it short. However, Charlie Williams with the big offensive board extends this Carmel possession. Waddell tosses it out to Suter on the far left side. Suter elevates, no good. Rebounded by number 1, that's Braden Smith.
And Braden Smith last night, Griffin, had 41 points against Noblesville. Do you expect him to go off tonight like he did last night?
I would expect Braden Smith to be a focal point for Westfield, but I think their other guys are going to have some more impactful production, as head coach of the Greyhounds, Ryan Osborne, shut down Braden Smith last time these two teams played. Matthew Penley leaves it short from deep as Connor Joya retains possession for the Carmel Greyhounds.
And you can see Westfield kind of staying back, allowing Carmel to move that ball around and forcing them into those bad shots like they had on the first go around. And you can see that Carmel will be content to hit that as Waddell hits a deep 3 as Carmel takes the lead 3-0.
Big first shot from the Carmel leading scorer. That's Brian Waddell knocking down the 3 ball here early. Hounds lead 3-0. Westfield doing a really good job moving the ball here early, trying to find Smith. They've let go 2 3-pointers thus far, have not gotten one to go. That's Benji Welch from 3, no good. Josh Wack gets the long rebound, and the Hounds go back to work.
Yeah, and that shot was just way off. It didn't look like he had his feet planted at all, and that was some good coverage by the Carmel defense to be able to win that ball back quickly, get that rebound, and turn around and go quickly against the Shamrocks on offense.
Looks like Westfield's a little rushed on the offensive side of the ball. Charlie Williams takes to the baseline. Big man gets it done, converts. Hounds lead 5-0, and that's a big-time take from Charlie Williams, the junior.
And Charlie Williams almost a foot taller than Matthew Penley, who he just bodied to get that board, to get that shot off. And Carmel, already you can see that they are going to try to get underneath the Shamrock skin. They're going to try to get under the paint, under the basket, get some quick 2s, and force the Shamrocks to have to convert on offense.
And there's Braden Smith converting close to the basket there for the Shamrocks. First 2 on the board for Westfield. Here we see Pete Suter at the top of the key, swing it over to Josh Wack, nails the 3 ball. Big time shot from the junior Josh Wack.
And the space is just open there for Carmel. If the Westfield's going to sit back, allow Carmel to move that ball around, eventually the Greyhounds are going to be able to find that shot like they just did with Wack and they did in the first possession with Waddell.
Braden Smith finds his way down to the basket, leaves it short, but the Shamrocks get the offensive rebound there. Matthew Penley slips and travels. The Hounds will get the possession back here. Just under 5 minutes to go here in this first quarter, but it's been action-packed thus far here tonight. Eric Clark Activity Center only at 50% capacity, but you can feel the energy in the building here tonight.
Absolutely, and there's some bad blood between these teams. Neighboring cities, you can tell that when these two teams saw that they were going to be able to meet in the sectional final, they both want to beat the absolute living crap out of each other, Griffin.
Westfield and Carmel student sections fired up here early. Peter Suter gets stripped on his jump shot. Cam Hoffner pushes the ball up the court and leaves it short once again. Brian Waddell almost had the board, but Josh Wack does handle the loose ball for the Greyhounds.
And Westfield can't keep missing those shots. You saw Benji Welch take that ball away from Peter Suter, get it off to Hafner. And if Westfield wants to keep this game close, they're going to have to make those shots, especially on the counter.
I agree with you, Matt. They've missed a lot of those shots, but there's Charlie Williams charged for the offensive foul. Benji Welch putting his body on the line there to get the Shamrocks the ball back.
And it looks like that could be Westfield's game plan as they start to get the momentum going in their favor, get in deep, get those fouls. They're a little bit smaller. The refs are going to call more for them. Carmel's got to be careful not to throw those elbows like Charlie Williams just did.
2 rocks hit the deck on that possession. One of them turned into charge for the Shamrocks, and they get the ball back here as Braden Smith seems to be orchestrating all the offense here for the Shamrocks here early. And they go right back to him. Braden Smith lets one fly from deep, nails the 3 ball. Hand in the face, Braden Smith. 5 points for the Shamrocks, 5 points for Braden Smith.
And he was under double coverage there. Coach Ryan Osborne looked absolutely furious that he was able to get that shot off. Great charge in there by Waddell to put up 2. And Westfield, if they're going to score some points, they got to turn up the defense. They can't allow Carmel to score as well.
Foul called on the floor there. Braden Smith with the take, responding to Waddell. That personal is charged to Connor Joya. As we take a look at personal fouls, Charlie Williams already has 2. The big man for Carmel will have to be on high alert here early. Connor Joya guarding Braden Smith, held him to just 8 points versus Carmel back in January.
Yeah, and they did a very good job of locking him down. Every shot that he took was not from a great area, and that's what they're going to want to do tonight. So far, he already has 5 points, almost beating his 8 from the first game, and so they're going to have to really focus on shutting down Braden Smith if they want to win this game.
Smith has found his rhythm here in the second half of this season, averaging 31 over his last 6 games. Joya now for the Hounds, trying to get something going. Takes it all the way to the rack. Big time bank shot for Connor Joya, just standing at 5'9", gets it to go for the Hounds.
Yeah, and Joya is the smallest player on the court, but the impact he has on this team is absolutely incredible. You can see him taking 2 defenders on there. Joya has the heart to push these Greyhounds to a win.
Braden Smith with the fancy spin move into the paint. Another bucket for the junior, Braden Smith. Keeping Westfield in this one, Matt. Foul is called there on the Rocks. Not happy about that one.
Yeah, and there was Joya once again trying to get it to go, get it out to Wack, and Westfield shutting it down, not allowing him to get it, taking the foul instead of allowing Joya to get the Greyhounds moving.
Something we do here see here is balanced scoring from the Hounds, and for the Rocks, it's all Braden Smith here. But if it's not broken, don't fix it. Braden Smith was the go-to guy last night. The Rocks doing the same thing here on in this championship ballgame.
Absolutely, and so far this season, you've had Brian Waddell and Pete Suter averaging over 10 points per game. Carmel a little more balanced, not afraid to dish the ball around. Westfield more of a one-man game, and Braden Smith is going to be the focus for them.
And a foul is called on the floor. That's Matthew Penley, number 20, on the Shamrocks, as Connor Joya was trying to get down the lane for the Hounds. Joya just at 5'9", the smaller choice to inbound the ball, but he does get it into Waddell. Josh Wack now on the outside. Passes it over to Peter Suter, averaging 12 points on the season. Suter, the Swiss Army knife of this Carmel team. Very scrappy on the defensive side of the ball, can put the ball in the hoop on the offensive side. Also solid off the glass and passing the rock. As Brian Waddell knocks one down, the senior leader, showing Westfield that he's here to play here in this sectional championship.
Yeah, what a shot that was by Brian Waddell, able to create that space and hit the floater. What a great shot there.
The 6'7" senior from Carmel knows how to elevate. As a wild pass goes over for the Rocks, Benji Welch able to handle it. Braden Smith now with it at the top of the key with just under a minute here to go in the first quarter. And Braden Smith doesn't get that one to go as Peter Suter grabs the defensive rebound. Now with just under 45 seconds here to go, it's really interesting in high school basketball with no shot clock. We'll see if Carmel just milks this last minute and tries to get a high percentage look here to take a bigger lead. Hounds up 14-7, definitely want to extend that heading into the second quarter.
It looks like they're trying to get the 6'7" sophomore Sam Orm into this game, but they'll be content to sit back and take the final shot in this quarter as they can extend their lead a little bit, but also hold on to a quite sizable lead. They've already doubled the Shamrocks.
Matthew Penley sticking to Josh Wack at the top of the key. He goes over to Connor Joya with just 10 seconds to go here in this first quarter, trying to get something going. Pete Suter takes it off the glass, gets it to go. High percentage look for Pete Suter. Cam Hafner lets one fly as the quarter expires. Hounds lead 16-7 here at the end of the first in this sectional championship game. We will be right back on Carmel High School television with second quarter action. Hounds lead 16-7 on CHTV. Second quarter action here at the Eric Clark Activity Center. Westfield starts with Braden Smith, Matthew Penley, Cam Hafner, Nick DePasquale, and Luke Noss is the substitution. Carmel stays with their guys and sub Sam Orman there for Josh Wack as Braden Smith starts out the quarter with a 3-ball.
Yeah, it looks like Coach Osborne brought in Sam Orman to try to get some height and get even more of those rebounds that Carmel has already gotten a lot of. Great shot there by Braden Smith. He already has 7 points tonight.
Peters feeds the beast. Charlie Williams down low gets it to go. That's a common theme we've seen here tonight, trying to get Charlie Williams going down low. 4 points for the big man.
And when you have that height advantage, that is going to be your go-to almost every time. Get your center underneath the basket, get him some easy points.
Westfield throws it away. Carmel takes over. Westfield looking for a tip. They thought one of the Carmel Greyhounds might have touched it as the ball sailed way out of bounds, but Carmel will retain possession here after that 2-point basket from Charlie Williams. Connor Joya trying to get something going, feeds Peter Suter out behind the arc. Sam Orm lets one fly. No good. Sam Orm known as a sharpshooter, but Brian Woodall gets the foul down low. Big time offensive rebound there from Brian.
Absolutely, and Waddell's not someone you really want to foul, shooting 87% from the line tonight. I expect 2 tonight from him.
Like you said, Matt, Brian Woodall shooting 87 from the line. The senior is the Hounds' leading scorer as he drops the first one. Hounds lead by 9, could extend it to double figures here with this second free throw.
And Waddell was sidelined for a couple games a few weeks ago with an ankle injury. Griffin, he looks fine tonight. How do you think he's been playing so far?
I think he's been playing really well on both sides of the basketball. Ryan Osborne does not give you minutes unless you are explosive on both sides of the ball. Scrappy on defense, explosive on offense, and Brian Woodall has shown both of those things tonight. Westfield trying to get the ball to Braden Smith. Connor Joya almost got a strip there as Braden lets one go. And Sam Orm, the 6'7" sophomore, blocks it. Charlie Williams with the block down low. And the Hounds take over.
And that's where that forced offense to Braden Smith just won't work. Carmel will put 2 on you and not allow you to get a clean shot off.
Peter Suter elevates, can't get it to go as Westfield takes over. Cam Hoffner brings the ball up for the Rocks. Gets it over to Braden Smith. And Pete Suter picks him up at the top of the key. The 6'5" Suter has 5 inches on Braden Smith. We'll see how he attacks it from the defensive side of the ball. Great defense there by Suter. Braden Smith gets to the lane, but Charlie Williams' hand in the face is too much. Hafner lets one go for 3. No good. Westfield's been extremely scrappy on the boards here.
Absolutely, that's 2 missed rebounds for the Greyhounds, and they can't allow Westfield to keep themselves in the game. If they keep getting those rebounds, they're going to keep allowing Braden Smith to get those shots off.
Foul called on Suter as Braden Smith attacks the rim. Braden Smith getting to the free throw line, and last night Braden Smith scored 41, and he made 11 of 19 shots, but also hit 15 free throws.
Absolutely, he had over half of Westfield's points last night, and you can see already he has more points than he did in that first game against the Greyhounds, already with 9 tonight. He's having a better game, but he's going to need more if they want to take down the Hounds.
Shamrocks with 11 points. Braden Smith with 11 points here early. Unreal. Unreal scoring from the junior as Charlie Williams handles that rebound off the second shot miss there from Braden Smith. So Joya does bring the ball up for the Hounds, gets it over to Suter at the top of the key, set up this offense here for the Greyhounds. Looks to Charlie Williams down low, nothing there. Something to note, Sam Orm, the 6'7" sophomore, shooting 47% from behind the arc. So we'll see if he lets one go here. But Braden Smith attacking, gets it to Hoffner, and he gets one to go. Hafner, the second Westfield Shamrock to score as Ryan Osborne calls a timeout here. A wise decision from the Carmel head coach.
Hafner himself, 42% from behind the arc. You have some good 3-point shooters on both sides, and we've already seen that tonight. We've seen Waddell hit one. We just saw Hafner hit one, and you know that's what I looked for when I saw that these two teams were going to face off. You know, deep shots. If they're going to allow the space to come up, they're going to want to take those deep shots. They're going to want to hit the threes.
And when you see a lack of height, you see a lot of shots from the perimeter, and that's at every level. You see it in the pros, you see it in college, and you see it here tonight. Westfield, the undersized team, looking to get those shots from the perimeter. Braden Smith knocking down a couple threes already. Hafner knocking down one to trigger that timeout from head coach Ryan Osborne of the Greyhounds. Something we saw last night in the sectional semifinal. Westfield-Noblesville was the late game. Hafner and Braden Smith both knocked down multiple threes last night. So I don't think they're going to be done from letting it go from behind the arc here tonight.
Yeah, Griffin, I would agree with you, but I also think that Coach Osborne is going to have to change his defense up. He's going to have to get people on Braden Smith and on Cam Hafner outside of the arc, force Westfield to get inside and under the basket, inside the paint, where they haven't had much success so far.
So Carmel sticks with the 6'7" Orm, goes big. Waddell will inbound to Joya to get things going after the timeout. Benji Welch is back in the ballgame for Westfield. They're sticking with their starters here for a majority of the first half. Peter Suter looks to Brian Waddell as they try to feed the big man, Charlie Williams, down low. Solid defense from Luke Van Dyke there for the Rocks. The senior forward. Looks like there was a little discrepancy there. Westfield ball, Carmel ball, they do give it to the Hounds.
And Griffin, the Westfield student section, looks absolutely furious with that call.
Definitely a lot of energy, a lot of passion from the Westfield student section here tonight, as well as the Carmel student section. Something interesting here in the first half is that you might not be able to see it on your monitor, but the Westfield student section is right behind the Carmel basket, making sure they can hear it here tonight. Sam Orm lets one fly from deep. Off the rim to Pete Suter with the offensive board. Sam Orm now outside the arc once again. Passes over to Joya. Brian Waddell trying to get something going here. With no shot clock, the Carmel Greyhounds can work the ball around until they get that high percentage look that Ryan Osborne's looking for.
Absolutely. They can take their time. They can try to find Charlie Williams in the paint, or they can try to kick it out to Waddell or Suter outside and get a quick three off.
Charlie Williams with the sky hook, gets it to go. Charlie Williams, 6 for the big man here early. Benji Welch in for the Rocks, passes it over to his point guard, Braden Smith. Loose ball falls into the hands of Peter Suter as the Greyhounds take over, up by 8.
And Griffin, it's been a tale of the two tall guys for Carmel so far tonight. Charlie Williams and Waddell combining for 15. Also the two tallest guys on the court. And it's something that Westfield so far hasn't been able to deal with.
Joya with the impressive take there for the Hounds, gets one to fall. And a blocking foul is called on Brian Waddell. Braden Smith had a head full of steam there going into the lane, and Waddell is called for the contact. Looks like Josh Wack will be checking back into the game for the Carmel Greyhounds, and number 20, Matthew Penley, will be checking back in for Nick De Pasquale. Luke Van Dyke, the senior forward for Westfield, brings a little bit of size. He is checked into the ball game. He gets it out to Braden Smith, but he can't get it to go from behind the arc.
And here you can see Carmel just taking their time. They're content to just sit back. They don't really need to push that high-octane offense that we've seen from them sometimes this season. And that's just because Westfield's a little shorter. They're also going to want to sit back, and so Carmel can wait for, as you said, that high percentage shot.
Westfield brings a lot of intensity on the offensive side of the ball. Carmel can play a little bit more passive here, using up clock, wearing down the Westfield Shamrocks, who are trying to stay in front of these Hounds. Connor Joya takes it back at the top of the key, resets the offense. Something we noticed from the Hounds is they do a really good job moving without the ball. Brian Waddell cutting into the paint. Charlie Williams trying to get open. They're doubling the big man constantly here in the first half. Wack lets it go from 3. Almost good. Tipped out by Brian Waddell. Shamrocks will retain possession here after that 3 ball.
There's a lot of movement there from Carmel on offense, but as you said, they always have 2 people in Charlie Williams. They, just as they did just then, they're allowing Josh Wack or other Carmel shooters to get that open three simply because they don't want Charlie Williams with the easy basket.
Timeout Westfield here with 2:11 to go in the first half. Towns lead by 10, but with Braden Smith on your side, you are never out of it here. And Matthew, what we've seen early is some aggressive defense from both sides of the ball. What do you expect from Westfield here in the last 2 minutes to try to get back in this one?
I think they really need to push their energy on the offensive side of the ball. I think they need to get their aggression up. I think they need to find Braden Smith, perhaps kick it out to Cam Hafner, and try to hit some shots. They need to score some points here. They need to cut down the lead, or else the Hounds will take all the momentum into the second half.
I couldn't agree more. I really do think they're going to be trying to get some looks, some high percentage looks. They've let a lot of shots go from behind the arc, and shots that are a little bit questionable, you would say. The head coach not necessarily satisfied with some of the looks they've gotten. Carmel aiming for those high percentage looks. Westfield chucking them up from deep here and there, but the Shamrocks will try to carve into that 10-point Carmel lead here with just 2:11 to go in this first half. Josh Wack picks up Braden Smith at the top of the key. Rocks swing it over to Hafner. He's got 3 here tonight. Westfield trying to get something going, but the Carmel defense is very scrappy, picking up these rocks immediately. Luke Noss lets one go from 3. It gets blocked, but Westfield retains possession. Braden Smith turns to the baseline. Nothing there. 21, Luke Van Dyke lets one go from 3, but Will Leary, who's checked in the ball game, gets the defensive rebound for the Carmel Greyhounds.
Absolutely, that's great first rebound there for Will Leary, able to get under the basket. And that's something that Carmel has dominated so far in this game, is those rebounds. And it's something we expected. Westfield has to try to do a better job, especially on the offensive side of getting those boards.
Wack swings it out to Leary, an offensive assassin here for the Carmel Greyhounds, brought into the game for his offensive production. Leary looks to his left, finds Wack, lets one go for 3. There's Leary, 3-ball good. Big time shot from the senior. The reserves can bring some firepower. If Will Leary gets hot, watch out.
Absolutely, and he does bring that offensive firepower, as you just saw. His first shot of the game is a 3. Carmel really has that energy. Westfield's got to do something to change it up.
Cam Hafner looking for one from the mid-range, doesn't get one to go as Carmel retains possession. 30 seconds here to go in the half, and the Hounds trying to convert on their 13-point lead here. With 20 seconds to go here in the half, Pete Suter can hold for this final shot if he does choose to do so. Connor Joya does take it. 10 seconds to go here in the half. Joya over to Leary. Leary is doubled. Josh Wack lets one go. 3-ball no good as the half ends. Carmel leads 27-14 here at the Eric Clark Activity Center in the sectional championship game. We will have halftime. We'll have a halftime update here on Carmel High School Television after this short break. You're listening to Griffin Hadley and Matthew Placzek here on CHTV. I was trying to say capitalize, but when I was going to say Welcome back to the Eric Clark Activity Center here at Carmel High School. How about that halftime show? Ireland Jones, a national finalist in twirling, also a member of CHTV here at Carmel High School. Always great to see Ireland fire up the crowd here at Carmel High School basketball games. But Matt, second half action here coming up in the next 5 minutes. What are your first half thoughts here? Shamrocks down 13, Hounds scoring 27 in the first half. Braden Smith scored 27 in the first half last night for Westfield, so Hounds doing their job on the defensive side of the ball.
Absolutely. I think the Shamrocks needed to keep it closer than they did, and I think they just need a little bit more energy on the offensive side of the ball. They're relying a little bit too much on Braden Smith, but we knew that was their game plan, and so if he can get on a hot streak, if he can get some baskets going, perhaps it starts to turn in the way. But I think Carmel, if they can keep it the way they are right now, their calm offense, I think, is really doing the job.
They've been able to set up great looks on the offensive side of the ball. That is the Carmel Greyhounds. Coach Ryan Osborne definitely instilled an effective program for the Greyhounds here tonight. And Westfield averaging 67 points per game, well under their first half pace here tonight. And that's something different between these two teams. Carmel, much more defensive-minded, really good at putting the clamps on. Westfield loves to attack the offensive side of the basketball. Who are you looking to here on the Westfield Shamrocks to get things going in the second half?
I think it could be the only other person other than Braden Smith that actually made a basket in the first half. I think Cam Hafner, if he can get some more looks, he had some good shots. They just didn't fall for him, but I think other than Braden Smith, who we know is going to be who's going to take a prominent role, he played all the minutes in the first half, I think Cam Hafner has a shot.
We'll see if Braden Smith still has some gas in the tank for the Westfield Shamrocks in the second half. We'll be right back on CHTV with second half action. You're watching Indiana playoff basketball right here on Carmel High School television.
What is this?
Yes, I need CHTV content.
Hello, I'm here to bless you with the Instagram plug.
Instagram plug.
So we have the Carmel TV for Instagram, Twitter is CHTV, and then YouTube is CHTV Carmel Television. Wow! It's pretty epic.
Because in these social media platforms, you'll discover some amazing interviews, news, and much more that will benefit you. And who knows, you may want to join CHTV. Wink wink, nudge nudge.
Hounds lead 27-14 here in the second half. Griffin Hadley alongside Matthew Placzek here for Carmel High School television in the sectional championship round here at Carmel High School. Greyhounds Shamrocks, a heated rivalry between the two Hamilton County teams, as the Greyhounds have a commanding lead after that first half.
Absolutely, and we saw Braden Smith once again dominate the Westfield side of the ball. Not necessarily the game. Put up 41 last night. Already had 27 in the first half by this point last night against Noblesville. Carmel already surpassed that. Braden Smith really needs to get some going, as you can see him with the ball right now.
Charlie Williams tacks on 2 more. That's 8 on the night for the big man. Charlie comes in averaging 6 points a game, so he's already over his season average as Carmel retains possession after Benji Welch leaves one short for the Westfield Shamrocks.
Absolutely, and that's just been kind of the tell of the night for the Shamrocks, is shots that are close but just don't fall, other than for Braden Smith, and it's something that Carmel will be happy with. They get those high percentage looks just like that. And so Carmel, you know, they're taking their lead right now. They're happy. Coach Osborne's happy. You can see him. He's content with the way his Hounds are playing.
As you can see, what a look by Charlie Williams, taking it to the rack. As Braden Smith gets one to go there for the Westfield Shamrocks. Hounds lead 31-16 here early in the second half. Pete Suter taking it up for the Hounds. A very versatile player as Brian Waddell lets one go from the top of the key. Doesn't get it to go. Rebound Cam Hoffner. Braden Smith quickly down the floor. Leaves it short as the Hounds retain possession.
Absolutely, and body's just hitting the deck, Griffin. There was Matthew Penley falling on the ground. Charlie Williams able to put it in. And you can see Cam Hafner swat the ball. Westfield's getting frustrated, and they need to keep their heads if they want to keep this game close.
6 points for the Hounds here in the second half. 6 points for Charlie Williams, the big man getting going early here in this second half. Benji Welch takes it all the way to the hoop, and Connor Joya gets called for the shooting foul. We will see Benji Welch at the line for the first time. Welch shoots 70% from the line. The junior guard averages 5.5 a game here for the Westfield Shamrocks. Gets the shooter's bounce, gets the first one to go. Welch is the third scorer for Westfield here tonight.
Yeah, and Carmel, their starting 5 already all scoring. This is Westfield, as you said, just their third scorer. And it's the one-man dependency that we've talked about the whole game that Westfield needs to change up. They need to get Welch. They need to get Penley. They need to get Hafner on the score sheet if they want to win this game.
I agree. Carmel with the balanced scoring here in tonight's ball game, and Westfield turning to Braden Smith and then their other guys, Benji Welch and Cam Hafner here in this game. Brian Waddell with the nice move, gets down the lane. A big 2 from Brian Waddell. He has 11.
Something I've noticed, Griffin, just so far in this game is De Pasquale trying to guard on Waddell hasn't been doing a great job. He's been kind of passive, letting Waddell get by him on both sides.
Penley lets one fly, doesn't get it to go. Carmel retains possession.
And as I would...
You got it.
No, you got it.
Well, Carmel definitely wants to extend their lead here. Up 17, this is dangerous territory for the Shamrocks.
Absolutely, and as I was saying, De Pasquale shifted off of Waddell, now guarding Wack. Something that I think that the Greyhounds need to focus on. They need to take Pasquale into account, and they need to focus on him and get him on those drives to be able to get those points.
Suter looking to his center, Charlie Williams, but Matthew Penley picks him up. Josh Wack now gets it over to Brian Waddell. Wack has hit a 3 here tonight. And Carmel once again looking for that high percentage look, taking their time on the offensive side of the ball.
Westfield not really doing much other than Braden Smith to get that ball back.
Brian Waddell with the slam. Loose ball falls in Brian Waddell's hands. 13 on the night from the senior.
What a dunk there by Brian Waddell, able to steal it as Westfield takes the timeout. And what an absolute slam, Griffin, from Brian Waddell.
The 6'7" senior showing he can elevate timeout Westfield. And Matt, what we've seen so far in the second half, just over 4 minutes gone here, and wow, Carmel's coming out shooting.
It's starting to feel like the last time these teams played, as we know. Carmel winning by 24, slowly getting there. The Hounds up 19 so far, and Waddell able to force Westfield to take a timeout. And it was Braden Smith who hit the deck, put in the energy. No one else on Westfield wanted to step up and grab that ball. Easy bucket for the Hounds.
What a take by Brian Waddell. Woo, the senior showing how to throw it down. Showed up last night, threw a couple down in the semifinal game, and Brian Waddell showing that he's the senior leader for this Greyhound team, and he's going to put some points on the board. Braden Smith gets picked up early there by 2 Hounds. Nick DePasquale tries to get something going, and he gets fouled on the deck by Brian Waddell.
Greyhound foul number 11, Brian Waddell. His third.
That's Waddell's third. He'll need to be aware of that, as you only get 5.
Yeah, and if Carmel loses Waddell, that could be a challenge here. He's providing that height, he's providing that energy, and Westfield will want to get him in. They'll want to put some pressure on him and force him to commit some fouls.
Braden Smith with the and one, taken to the baseline. Elevating. Josh Wack couldn't get there in time.
His first, team's third.
Something we've noticed here early is that when Braden Smith gets to that baseline, he's very effective at getting to the hoop and getting it going.
Yeah, he likes to grind down. He likes to get down, get his body into his defender, and then elevate quickly, get the defenders off balance like he just did to Wack, force the defense to commit a foul, and then get to the line.
Braden Smith converts the and one. That's the old-fashioned way to get that 3 points. Westfield increases their score to 21, but it's been all Hounds here in this third quarter. Pete Suter now for the Hounds, trying to get this offense going. A very passive approach from Ryan Osborne and the Greyhounds, but Matt, it's been very effective here tonight.
Absolutely, and it's something that I'm sure they've been working on all week, something that they've seen Westfield kind of sit back last night against Noblesville. On the defensive side of the ball is a very high-scoring game, and it's something that the Greyhounds have done very well tonight, is find those high-percentage shots, get in and under the basket, and get those good points.
So timeout called by Coach Osborne for the Carmel Greyhounds. Didn't like what he saw there on the offensive side of the ball. And Matt, while we have a break in the action, let's look at this Carmel Greyhounds team. Assuming they will keep control of this one, Carmel has played a really thin rotation here tonight. It's been really interesting, as they have many guys who can play some quality minutes for Ryan Osborne and this Greyhounds team.
Yeah, Griffin, we've only seen Will Leary and Sam Orm so far from the bench, and Westfield really hasn't done much either. But on the Greyhound side, you know, as you said, they do have some good people, some people that can take some shots, grind down, get some good defense going. Bryce Beery, Nick Frishy, 2 seniors that have played on this team for a while. They know the heart that Coach Osborne wants, and I'm quite surprised that he hasn't taken advantage of that.
Suter inbounds to Josh Wack. Leary has checked back into the ballgame for the Carmel Greyhounds. Peter Suter with a nice crossover finds the open Wack. Will Leary thought about it, but he pulled down to get that high percentage look. Charlie Williams in the middle of the lane, leaves it short, gets his own rebound, and gets it to go. 14 for Charlie Williams.
Great effort there from Williams to get the putback, guarded by Luke Van Dyke. And that's the energy that Carmel has had so far that Westfield just hasn't. And that's where you get those 18-point difference. Carmel up 39-21.
Josh Wack stay in front of Braden Smith, and Carmel retains possession. Connor Joya takes it right to the hoop, gets fouled. That's Luke Noss. The senior guard for Westfield is charged for his first personal.
Number 5, Luke Noss, his first, team's first.
So we will now see Connor Joya at the line. The 5'8" senior guard did miss some time early on in the season, but he's been an anchor for this Greyhounds team, averaging 3.6 assists per game. Not known as a scorer, but he has made 76% of his free throws here this season.
Absolutely, and he's just kind of that anchor that you see on the teams that, you know, when they need someone to step up, command the minute, command the play. That's where you see Joya get the ball, start the offense moving, pass it around, and get some assists.
And like you said, there's Nick Frishy checking into the ball game, brings some solid defense. The senior always plays quality minutes for the Hounds. Connor Joya misses both, but there's Frishy with that offensive board. Ball gets stripped away, but Suter's able to handle the loose ball. Connor Joya lets one go from 3. It's short, but Frishy tips the ball out. Ball's in the air, and the height of the Carmel Greyhounds retains possession.
And that ball actually bounced off of Luke Van Dyke's face. Peter Suter able to get it and get it out to Wack. And it was a great rebound by Frishy, his first kind of play in the game. And as you said, he puts on that great defense, but he also gets some good offensive rebounds as well.
Connor Joya taking it all the way in, and one for the senior. Off the glass, count it. Joya heads back to the line.
Shamrocks foul number 21, Luke Van Dyke.
Big time
His
take
first,
there from the
team's
senior.
second. Return for the Shamrocks, number 20, Matthew Penley. At the line for the Greyhounds, shooting 1, Connor Joya.
So Hounds now up 20, looking to extend on that lead. And Joya converts. Now Westfield running and gunning. Braden Smith with a head full of steam coming up the court, but Josh Wack finds a way to stop him. And it looks like a foul is called. Braden Smith was doubled in the lane there by 2 Greyhounds.
Yeah, Braden Smith, 16 points on the night. Wants to make it the Braden Smith show. Carmel, with their 21-point lead, they're going to shut him down. They're not going to allow Westfield to get back in the game. So far, from what we've seen in this game, I think Carmel has a pretty steady grip on this, and I think Coach Osborne's game plan on defense has worked very well.
Coach Osborne wanted to be more aggressive here tonight, score the ball better, and be more aggressive on the defensive side. Last night, he said they were playing not to lose instead of playing to win, and it seems like these Hounds are playing to win here tonight. Westfield lets one go from deep. That's Luke Noss, could not get it to go as Carmel reels in the loose ball. Braden Smith picks up Connor Joya immediately as he crosses the timeline, but there's Pete Suter taking it in, and he gets fouled.
Shamrocks foul number 20, Matthew Penley, his second.
Griffin Suter's had a quiet night. He averages 12.6 points on the season, only 2 tonight. He's a 70% free throw shooter, but I would have expected a little more action from him, but I think Carmel's done a good job of trying to get Charlie Williams and Brian Waddell into the game, take advantage of that height advantage that they have against the Shamrocks.
We usually do see a little bit more scoring from Suter, like you said, but he's been extremely effective on the defensive side of the ball, and Charlie Williams has picked up that scoring where Suter has teetered off just a little bit. Suter, a 3-year starter for the Greyhounds, played in that state championship victory versus Ben Davis in his freshman year back in 2019. Obviously no state championship game last year. Now Suter is here as a junior, trying to lead the Hounds back to Bankers Life Fieldhouse. So Braden Smith doubled immediately on the perimeter. Tosses it out to Hoffner. Lets one fly. No good. Frischi with the big-time board.
That's back-to-back rebounds from Frischi on the defensive side of the ball. He's putting in good work. He's really getting in that energy, and that's what Coach Osborne wanted from him. He's confident in his bench. He wants them to get their guns out. He wants them to put the energy in on the ball, and that's what Frischi's done so far.
Connor Joya hits the deck as Braden Smith is called for a reach-in foul. It looks like Braden Smith will be sitting down for the first time here tonight. He has to be gassed. Played the whole game thus far.
Yeah, and he looks furious, but you just wonder if that's Westfield maybe realizing how this game is going, realizing that they may not be able to come back from it, or giving Braden Smith a rest, trying to give him one last chance to give this Westfield a chance to advance in this state championship.
With just
tournament.
1 minute here to go in this third quarter, Braden Smith getting that well-deserved rest here as Carmel looks to be holding for that last shot. They can milk the rest of the third quarter unless they see that high percentage look here as Connor Joya is working that outside perimeter. Finds Josh Wack. The junior guard has played some quality defense here tonight. Will Leary looks to get something going with the spin move. Nothing there. Finds Suter at the top of the key. And Carmel just playing keep away at this point here as the third quarter winds down under 30 seconds to go.
No shot clock in high school. They can just take their time, find a good shot under the basket, maybe try to get Frischi some points, or Suter content to take his time, find Wack, perhaps get Suter under the basket and get a nice 2 to end out this quarter.
Definitely the goal from head coach Ryan Osborne as the clock does wind under 10 seconds. Peter Suter looking to get something to go. With 1 second, Josh Wack elevates, no good as the third quarter comes to a close. Carmel leads 44-21. Hounds running away with this one here as we head into the fourth quarter. We will be right back here on CHTV with fourth quarter action of the sectional championship game. Fourth quarter playoff basketball action here in Central Indiana in March. Rocks take possession to start this fourth quarter. As a foul is called on the deck, that's on Peter Suter. That is Suter's second personal. And Matt, with a 23-point lead here, the Hounds looking to just run out this clock here in the fourth.
Yeah, Ryan Osborne will probably bring in some subs, keep his team fresh, keep them ready for next week when they go to regionals. And I think Westfield, I think they've done a really good job tonight trying to bring some energy, trying to bring some aggression to the Hounds, but you can't rely on one man, and that's what we tried to do, and Braden Smith just hasn't been able to do what he did last night.
That balanced scoring for the Greyhounds is really proving to be the answer here tonight. Westfield unable to handle all of the different options for the Hounds as Peter Suter takes it right to the rim. No good, but Connor Joya comes up with that loose ball for the Hounds. Joya dribbles his way out of trouble as Josh Wack will reset this Greyhound offense at the top of the key. Goya has commanded this Carmel offense here tonight, Matt.
Yeah, Connor Joy has done a really good job. And you could see from the energy that he's just brought on the offensive side of the ball, getting the rebounds, not afraid to get low and dirty. There he is checking into the paint. He's really trying to move around and get the Greyhounds moving.
So Braden Smith does check back into the game to start this fourth quarter. Got some well-deserved rest there at the end of the third. But Nick Frischie's wide open down low. Gets it over to Brian Woodall, but the Westfield Shamrocks defense collapsed there quick enough to avoid that easy bucket there in the paint. Maybe Charlie Williams with a little bit more height would have been able to put it up a little quicker, but Frischie made the right decision, kicking it back out and extending this Greyhound possession.
As you said, Williams about to check in. I would guess taking out Nick Frischie, trying to get some more offensive energy outside of the ball. Great drive there by Brian Waddell, not able to get it to go.
But there's Nick Frischie. Offensive rebound, and a foul is called on the Shamrocks.
And there's that passion that we saw from Nick Frischie that we talked about earlier. His third offensive rebound tonight as he checks out for Charlie Williams. But a great display there from the senior.
A round of applause for Nick Frischie. The senior well loved by this Greyhound crowd, and he played some quality minutes here tonight as Charlie Williams checks back in for a little bit of more offensive production down low. So some stingy defense here from the Westfield Shamrocks out on the perimeter. Connor Joya resets as they're looking to go down low here to Charlie Williams. Penley picks up Wack at the top of the key. Wack finds some space down the middle, and a foul is called on Penley as Wack takes it all the way to the rim.
Yeah, Wack looked out for Waddell, saw he was guarded by Braden Smith. Did a good job of drawing that foul, and he'll go to the line. And again, that's just Carmel's grinding style of offense. They like to get those fouls. They like to get dirty. They like to make the defense make a mistake.
Making the defense pay here tonight is the Carmel Greyhounds offense. Josh Wack gets the first one to fall. An 80% shooter from the line, Josh Wack has been solid when he gets to the free throw line here this season. And Wack converts both from the line as Braden Smith takes that inbound pass, and he is running and gunning immediately for those Westfield Shamrocks. Intensity drops a little bit here as Westfield gets set in their half-court offense, trying to find Braden Smith in the middle, but Charlie Williams is there to pick him up. Out to Hoffner with the wild three, it's short. Charlie Williams fighting for that loose ball. The big man running and gets the foul called. Great hustle there from the 6'10 Williams.
And it was great pressure by Suter to force Hafner to take a not so great shot, force him off balance, and then Charlie Williams a great job there transitioning, forcing the foul, and he'll go to the line for Carmel to extend their lead even more.
Hoffner tried to elevate there and get one to go, but no foul was called on the Greyhounds. Looked like he was trying to draw some contact, but Hounds stayed back as Charlie Williams gets the first one to go. Williams is a 77% free throw shooter, pretty solid for being a center of this Greyhounds team, standing at 6'10".
Yeah, the Greyhounds are a good free throw shooting team. Peter Suter, the lowest at 70%. They do a good job. Once they get those fouls, they're going to make the defense pay by converting the free throws.
Looks like a loose ball foul is called on Pete Suter to reset this Westfield offense. but the Hounds punishing this Westfield team on the offensive side of the ball. With just 5 minutes to go here, Westfield is going to need a miracle to get back in this one. There's Charlie Williams again with the aggression, and Connor Joya comes up with the loose ball. There's that scrappy defense.
Joya and Williams. Williams a foot taller than Joya, but they both got down to try to get that ball for the Greyhounds and get it out to Wack so Carmel could go on the offense and transition and force Westfield to get some points on the board.
Peter Suter with a great cut in the middle without the ball, but Braden Smith strips the ball away. Luke Noss lets one fly, and he gets it to go. That's his first bucket of the contest. We saw the senior knock down a bunch of jump shots in warm-up, so it's good to see him get one to go here late in this one. Josh Wack takes it all the way in, dumps it off to Charlie Williams, who gets one to fall. 17 for Charlie Williams.
Williams and Waddell already combining for 30 points. Those two alone outscoring Westfield, and that's just a tale of the height. Charlie Williams, 6'10", Brian Waddell, 6'7". It's really easy to get those 2 points, get those easy floaters, those easy rebounds when you're taller than the rest of the other team.
There's that heads-up basketball once again from the Carmel Greyhounds. Braden Smith was able to get it to go down low. Connor Joya elevates, tips the ball away. Foul called on the Shamrocks, and the Hounds end up with the basketball once again.
And Bryce Beery checks in, another senior. Ryan Osborne content to give his subs some minutes. And Bryce Beery does have a lot of passion, just like Nick Frishy. They're both not afraid to get down, to force the other team to make mistakes, and they love to score. Both of them, they don't score a ton, but when they do, it always excites the crowd, and it's something that I would love to see if Bryce Beery could get on the score sheet tonight.
Bryce Beery always plays some quality minutes. Earlier this season when the Hounds faced off against Brownsburg, Beery got a lot of minutes because he was playing explosive defense, and it's great to see Beery get some minutes here late at the end of this sectional championship game. Always good to see the seniors check in here during the playoffs. A round of applause from the audience when Beery came in. It's really fun to see the support here tonight, as we didn't know if we were going to have spectators when this season began back in the winter, but it's awesome to see these seniors check in, get some playing time, and feel the love from the crowd here in this sectional championship game.
Yeah, and last season, you know, the tournament was shut down so quickly. Carmel only losing one senior, so they didn't have that regret that they weren't able to to make a state championship run. But this season, all the seniors getting some love from the fans. You saw Matthew Penley just check out there. Round of applause from his Westfield supporters, and that's something that I love to see, and I love about Indiana basketball, is that the community is so supportive of the seniors, and it's something that I believe it's really important to the future of this game, is to have the underclassmen kind of see the seniors get the love and get the effort, and it's something that I think Carmel does a very good job of.
It's something that's ingrained in this Carmel culture. The seniors passed down that knowledge, rather. And Beery now with the ball at the top of the key. He is the senior captain on this team, spreading his leadership here, as is Waddell, who has 13 on the night. Brian Waddell, one of the best scorers I've seen for this Carmel Greyhounds team. And at this point, Carmel just playing keep away until they can get a shot. Josh Wack takes it for the Carmel Greyhounds. All the way through, Charlie Williams slams it home. That's 19 for the junior. Big time night for Charlie Williams, slam-a-jamma.
Huge dunk there from Charlie Williams, 19 as you said. He's had a great game. And I think we expected that when we saw how he was going to match up against the Shamrocks team, and I'd expect him to take a more active role going forward into this state tournament.
Like you said, Matt, it really has been about the height here tonight. And Charlie Williams has showed that he can ball. He can really elevate his game when needed. Ryan Osborne, head coach of the Greyhounds, needed Charlie Williams to show up here tonight, and he's had a great game. And Ryan Osborne will call a timeout with just under 2 minutes to go in this ball game, and it looks like the reserves will check in as Hounds lead 51-25 with just 1:58 here to go in this sectional championship game.
And Griffin, looking forward, as we can see, Carmel, unless a miracle happens, which I don't even know. I don't even know if it's possible, but we can see that they're going to advance to the next round. What is something that you think they can work on from their game tonight that, you know, they need to fix if they want to get to the state championship game again?
You know, I think they can consider both games here in this sectional round. Last night they were extremely passive and they weren't at their best. And here tonight they've played some really, really aggressive basketball. I think Ryan Osborne, head coach of the Greyhounds, loved to see the Carmel Greyhounds get aggressive on the defensive side of the ball and then play attack basketball on the offensive side. And I think that's something they want to carry on into the regional round. They're going to want to start these games in the regional round with a very aggressive mindset, try to put some points on the board and catch their opponents off guard. Because when Carmel plays from the lead, they play really good basketball. They hold their lead. They play really effective defense. And once Carmel gets a lead, it's really hard to carve into that lead that the Hounds establish.
Substitution for the Shamrocks, number 33, Sam Bishop.
Looks like 33 for the Westfield Shamrocks. Sam Bishop is checking in, the sophomore, getting some high-quality playoff minutes here at the end of this one, as Josh Wack gets that first free throw to fall. So on the court for the Greyhounds right now, Burke Weldy looks like he's getting some minutes, the junior guard for the Carmel Greyhounds. He is joined by Sam Orm, Nick Frishy, Bryce Beery, and number 21, Josh Rao.
Yeah, Carmel has no starters left on the court. Ryan Osborne happy with his team, happy with how his team's performed, happy with the 28-point lead. He'd love to give the reserves some minutes, and that's what he's done right now.
And Braden Smith takes it all the way to the rack, shows his frustration. Really tough for the junior here. Put on a show last night against Noblesville. Dropped 41, but unable to get the job done by himself here tonight.
And it's just a different caliber team. Carmel, a much better defense than Noblesville, a much more organized defense, rather on the defensive side of the ball. And on offense, too, they'll make you pay more than Noblesville will. Noblesville allowed Westfield to rack up those points, allowed Braden Smith to get 41. Osborne came into this game knowing he had to shut him down, and that's what they've done.
Westfield put up 81 points last night in the semifinals, held to just 27 thus far as Braden Smith checks out, gives his coach a high five. Coach definitely appreciative of all the work he's done so far in this playoff run.
And that's not the last we're going to see of Braden Smith, Griffin. He is a junior, so we will see him next year. Westfield, he's very frustrated, but he can look forward to next year and try to bring his Westfield team into the state tournament even deeper. They're probably going to have to take down Carmel, but a new year is a new year.
Definitely.
And I think Braden Smith, from what he's shown so far tonight, there's a lot of promise in the way he plays. And I think if he takes a little more active role on the defensive side of the ball, if he gets some more teammates that can shoot a little more, make some more points, I think that they could have a good run next year in the state tournament.
And this Carmel team from top to bottom has been extremely solid this whole season. And something that I've noticed is they play quality basketball from the tip to the final buzzer. So Matt, something that you're looking for in this tournament is probably that top to bottom complete game presence from the Carmel Greyhounds. Would you agree?
I would agree, and I think you can see that right now. Even their reserves are bringing the same energy that their starters were, and Coach Osborne prides himself on his team giving all 32 minutes of energy, not wanting to let any team come back regardless of what the score is, and I think that could be the key to the Greyhounds adding another state championship to their trophy cabinet.
So Carmel playing keep away at this point, takes a commanding 53-27 lead into this one. We'll see if they tack on 2-3 more here, but it looks like they will just play keep away and run this one out. The crowd coming to their feet here at the Eric Clark Activity Center. A sweet victory here at home for the Carmel Greyhounds as the clock runs out. Carmel wins 53-27 to take the sectional championship. A big-time performance from the Greyhounds, led by senior Brian Waddell and junior center Charlie Williams. A huge game there for the Carmel Greyhounds. And Matt, they're moving on to regionals.
They are, Griffin, and I can't wait to see what this team can bring to the rest of the state tournament and how they can show Indiana what they have. I was very disappointed last year when the state tournament was canceled. They had almost the same identical team, the same energy, but I think this year they're even stronger. They have that focus that Coach Osborne wants, and I really expect this team to make it all the way to Banker's Life.
Carmel with the build of a championship roster. They have depth, they have experience, they have an offense, and they have an aggressive defense. We'll see what Carmel can do as this championship tournament continues. Carmel wins 53-27 here at home. This has been Griffin, Hadley, and Matthew Placzek. You have been watching Carmel basketball on Carmel High School Television. Thanks for watching here this afternoon.